Hi guys, Dr. Axe here, and I want to talk about the science behind an anti-inflammatory diet and from a science perspective, exactly why it works and how it works. So again, when we're trying to make these changes in our lives, if we know why it works, it's a lot easier us to change our diet and make the change that we need to. So we have two different pathways. We have an anti-inflammatory pathway our bodies can take, or a pro-inflammatory pathway our bodies can take. So the first thing I want to talk about is our insulin levels. And what really affects our insulin levels is carbohydrates, sugars. High glycemic index foods that are very starchy and have a lot of sugars are going to increase our insulin levels. Okay, so you might be eating good foods, but if they're on that index, we're going to go from a anti-inflammatory pathway from linoleic acid down to GLA. And when insulin's not right, glucose is up, okay, from the foods that we're eating, that anti-inflammatory pathway is going to shift over to arachidonic acid. And now we are in the pro-inflammatory stage. So just by reducing carbs and sugars and getting more fats and good quality proteins, vegetables in our diet, we are going to keep all of our pathways going anti-inflammatory instead of pro-inflammatory. Okay, now the second thing in an anti-inflammatory diet is getting the right herbs and compounds in our diet to reduce inflammation. So the second thing there is things like turmeric, ginger, different herbs like boswellia. Those things, if you do go towards arachidonic acid in your pathways, it's going to modulate the conversion of arachidonic acid into pro-inflammatory metabolites. So again, two things here: reduce sugars, carbohydrates, things like that, because that is going to stop the pro-inflammatory pathways from coming over, and then eating herbs and compounds that are going to inhibit or modulate the conversion of arachidonic acid into pro-inflammatory chemicals. Okay, so again, two things to remember: reduce your carbs and your sugars, get good fats, good quality meats that have omega-3s in them, fish, things like that. Start to reduce your grains, your sugars, pastas, things like that. And that is going to make a massive difference. And then through supplementation or foods, start to get your anti-inflammatory herbs like ginger and turmeric. And that's going to make a world of difference. You know, because when we start to inflame the brain, then you start to have cognitive dysfunction, anxiety, depression, can't remember things, brain fog. If you start to inflame your thyroid, then your thyroid doesn't make enough hormone, okay? And then you start to gain weight and get depressed and not have energy. Or you start to inflame your joints, and your joints start to hurt, and then you can't move, then you can't exercise. So inflammation drives all these disease processes, and that's why this pathway and going anti-inflammatory on your diet and your herbs is so important. Thanks.